There's a lot of you now, isn't there? I did not expect this video to blow up like it did, but here we are. Hi guys. Imagine how embarrassing it's gonna be if this video flops. Anyway, today I'm gonna be showing you the worst towers in TDS, and I don't mean I'm just gonna show you every single beginner tower here and call it a day. No. I'm gonna pull one tower from each category, so I'm only gonna have 5 options for the worst hardcore tower. So let's get to it. Now, a lot of these towers are just hot garbage, but it came down to 2 towers for me, Scout and Paintballer. Now you might say, well, Dropout, isn't it universally agreed upon that Paintballer is the absolute worst tower? For that, you're right, but you know, when you look at Scout, his stats aren't much better. In fact, according to the TDS wiki, which means you can't blame me if I'm wrong, Paintballer can apparently do well over 100 DPS. Like, who would have guessed the most clowned on tower is able to do that? Now, Scout has way better cost efficiency, he's cheaper, and he has a larger range, so I'm still going to say that Paintballer is the worst starter tower, just because, 1, only in like very rare scenarios can you get its max DPS of 123. 2, it's really expensive for the output. And 3, Demo Man is just way better splash than Paintballer is. So Paintballer is the worst starter tower. Now moving on to the intermediate section. Now this section is pretty stacked. It has some heavy hitters like farm, medic, and military base. It was pretty hard for me to pick one single tower that's the worst out of this bunch, but it came down to 2 towers, Assassin and Freezer. These towers are very different in their usages. Freezer is of course a stalling tower and Assassin is a melee tower. Now Freezer, similarly to Soldier, shoots in bursts, going up to 7 bursts at max level, and Freezer is able to drop defense by 10% at his later levels. And of course he can freeze. An Assassin can do big damage in crowds thanks to his whirlwind spin. However, in my opinion, I think Freezer just has more going for it when it comes down to it. So that means Assassin is the worst intermediate tower. Before we get to the advanced section, I gotta ask you to subscribe. I'm really trying to get that content creator role in TDS, and I can only do it with your support. So if you don't mind, subscribe. I also got a Discord server, so you can join that if you like. The link is in the description. Back to the video. Now here's where it starts to get tough. This section is full of amazing towers. All of these are really good in their field, but I got it down to 3 towers, Cowboy, Mortar, and Warden. Cowboy because it's really not that useful unless you don't have farm. Mortar because its crappy placement limit, it getting outclassed by other towers like Golden Pyro, and it having some pretty bad cost efficiency. And Warden because, well, same problem with Mortar. It's heavily outclassed by other stunning towers that have twice its range. I'm gonna eliminate Cowboy because even though I think farm is 10 times better, it has its uses, and it can provide some pretty decent early defense. Now it's just Mortar and Warden. Let me go over Mortar first. Mortar is really good. I mean, yeah. No, we are not doing that joke again. Mortar has really good crowd control, and even better, he's a free tower. All you gotta do is reach level 75 and you get him. Mortar can tear through crowds. Like, have you seen what a Mortar can do to a horde of breakers? It's insane. But moving over to Warden, Warden can almost do 200 DPS, which is just wild, but it all comes crashing down when you realize he has a range of 8. Yeah, that's not good. Warden at max level can stun enemies for about 3 seconds and can also do critical hits that can reach up to 128 damage. You know, it sounds pretty good, but I'm honestly gonna have to say that Mortar's better. While Mortar suffers from most of the same issues, it's not as big as it is for Warden. Electroshocker clears Warden any day of the week, so that means there's quite literally no reason to even bring Warden. This means that yes, Warden is the worst advanced tower. Slim pickings, huh? I don't have a lot to go off of. I just recently got Hacker and have used them once. All I gotta say about Hacker is, talk about overpriced. Yeesh. Obviously, Accelerator is staying, and so is Engineer. Necromancer's weird because they're not that powerful, but their units can wipe out entire waves, so I'm gonna keep them. That leaves Brawler and Hacker. And honestly, I'll make this short. I'm gonna say Brawler. You can let me know in the comments if Hacker is worse, because hell if I know. But Brawler isn't really that good. Sure, you can do knockback and splash, but who really can in this game anymore? Brawler is just really the weakest link when it comes down to it. It's not that he's bad, he's decent for early defense, though a little unreliable at times. He's just the worst tower out of all these. I mean, look who he's paired up against. Accelerator at 1000 DPS. When you look at it, why is Brawler even put next to these towers? Anyways, that's besides the point. Brawler's the worst hardcore tower. Well, you and I both know at 2 towers this is going to come down to. Hollow Punk and Snowballer. Both of them are insanely terrible. I want to disclose that when I said they should start making towers for easy mode, this is not what I meant, okay? God knows what the TDS devs were thinking when they made these towers, but whatever. Let me show you something. Maybe I underestimated these guys. Out of the two, which is worse, I'm gonna say Snowballer. Though Snowballer has way better cost efficiency, Hollow Punk can knock back enemies, and it can splash multiple enemies. In fact, I did a video comparing both of these towers about a year ago, so go watch that if you want a more in-depth comparison. But this means Snowballer is the worst exclusive tower. Well, the worst towers in every category goes as follows. Paintballer for starter, Assassin for intermediate, Warden for advanced, Brawler for hardcore, and Snowballer for exclusive. Tell me, do you agree with these takes? Leave a comment if you do or don't, but that's it for today. Remember, subscribe, join the Discord server, and thanks for watching to the end. You're officially cool now.